Hello chess friends, this is your Vegas chess coach here. This is the basics 3 component of the beginner's tutorial. Very basic stuff, but all necessary information and rules to know in order to play successful chess games. This section is about the en passant, the castling, checkmate, and draws in the chess games. So let's start with the en passant. I'll have a very simple situation here on the board. The pawn on e7 is still on its starting square, whereas the white pawn on f5 is already moved quite a couple of squares away from its starting position. Now, as we know, when the pawn reaches the 8th rank, the pawn will promote into another piece of its choosing, and could become either a bishop, knight, rook, or queen of the same color. So black is about to move a pawn, and as we know from the starting square, the black pawn can either move 1 square or 2 squares. Now black thinks, okay, when I move my pawn 1 square, as we know from the rules that how pawns take, the white pawn could now capture the black pawn, and the black pawn would be lost. So therefore, the black decides to take advantage of the 2 square move of the pawn on its originating square, and go past the white pawn. So the white pawn cannot actually take here because there is no pawn, right? So it kind of got cheated by the black pawn. Well, for that they introduced a rule maybe 150 years ago or so. That's called en passant. That means white can still take that pawn if white wishes, as if the pawn just moved 1 square, if it just moved here. So white can move here, and effectively this pawn will be taken off the board. That has to happen immediately after black moves its pawn and it's white's turn. White cannot wait and make a decision later on. It has to either do it right then and there, or it lost its chance to do so. So that's the famous en passant rule, and it's effectively a way of taking in a situation where 1 pawn from the starting square is moving 2 squares forward instead of 1, and tries to cheat white out of the ability to take. And that's the en passant rule. You take the pawn like this. All right. So that's to another special pawn move. Now we talk about another special king move. We talked about that kings can move like 1 square at a time in any direction. Well, there's a situation where kings can actually move 2 squares, similar to the pawns on the starting square. Kings also have an opportunity to move once in the game 2 squares, and that's when the king is getting ready to castle, meaning there's no pieces between the king and the rook on either side, let's say like this, right? And then the king can move 2 squares towards the rook, and then the rook goes onto the left side of the king. That is called kingside castling. Or the king moves to the left 2 squares, and the rook moves across to the left side, to the right side of the king. And it's called queenside castling. So that's a special move, not just for the king, but also for the rook. In that position, the rook can actually jump over a piece, like the knights can do. But rooks can only do that during castling, and that's the only time they can do that. So now here are a couple of special rules. for when white can castle. First of all, the king must have never moved from this square, in this case e1, before castling. If the king ever moved up and down before, can no longer castle. Same is true for the rook. If the rook moved up and down, a rook can no longer castle with the king. Same for this rook. So the rook never moved, the king never moved, then you can castle. All right, so now here's a couple of other restrictions. For example, when the king is in check by an opposing piece, like this rook, the king cannot castle. It cannot be, the king cannot be in check. Also, when the king needs to jump over the square that is attacked by the rook, which is in this case f1, the king cannot castle. And when the king, let's put the rook over here, when the king is castling, the king can only not move to a square that is attacked by the rook. It's also not allowed. So there are the three positions for the checks and threats. King is in check. King would have to go over a square that is attacked. King is going to land on a square that is attacked. In those cases, the king cannot castle. If the rook is attacked, like this, then the king can castle. It does not matter if the rook is attacked. Okay, same thing here. Now on the queen side, same thing. When the rook is here, the king cannot castle because the rook attacks d1. King is not allowed to jump over d1. If the rook attacks c1, the king cannot castle because he would land on c1. But if the rook is here and attacks b1, that's okay. The king can actually go to c1 and castle. The rook is allowed to jump over a square that is attacked. And that's perfectly fine. Also, if the rook is attacked, we still can castle, right? So that's another option. So it is only that we have to watch out for that the king is not attacked, or the king is not going to a square that is attacked, or has to jump over a square that is attacked. So a lot of times opponents play like this, where they put like a bishop here, let's say, or here, any of those squares, and effectively attack the square, and the king can then no longer castle until either this bishop moves or something is put in between. Let's say we have a rook here, then the rook is blocking the bishop, and then the king can castle. Okay, so that's the castling rules. Now we come to the checkmating rules. Of course, checkmate is the ultimate, goal in the game, and I want to show you what is a checkmate. Very simple one is, let's say we use these two rooks here. The king is in check by one of the pieces, and the king cannot move out of check. So the king cannot move in any of the squares that the king can go to. When any of those squares would be still attacked, then the king is checkmate. The king cannot go here because the rook is attacking along this way. See that? So the king can also not go there because the rook is still attacking, and the king cannot go here, still attacking. So same with here, on the 8th rank, the rook is attacking along that rank. The king cannot move anywhere. On top of it, the king is in check by the rook. So that's a checkmate. So because the king cannot move out. Now, let's assume we have another rook. Let's say we have a black rook here. And on black's turn, black can put that rook in between. This way, the rook is now blocking the check by that rook. And so the king is no longer in check, and therefore it's not a checkmate. All right, so that's the that's one of the ways to prevent a checkmate also. When the king is on this field, um, the king is not checkmate because the king can just move away, right, from this. The other option is, let's say we have a queen here. Oops. We have a queen here. So the king gets checked. Then the queen can take this rook. And it's no longer checkmate because the queen now took that rook. And it's the checking piece is gone. That's another way to get out of it. But if only the king is left and there's only these rooks, then the king is effectively checkmated. And that's the end of the game. You don't take the king, you don't move it off the board. The opponent just at that point resigns, and you shake hands at the end of the game, and it's over. So there are different ways to kind of checkmate. I'll show you another one. You could have the queen here being protected by the king, right? So again, this is a checkmate. The black king is in checkmate. It cannot move anywhere to get out of it, and there's no other piece to take the queen. So that would be a checkmate. Now let's come to the draw options. You can always draw a game. I mean, effectively, if you only have two kings left, that's by definition a draw. You don't have enough material to checkmate the opponent. So even if white would have a bishop, it's still not enough material to checkmate. Or if white would have a knight, it's also not enough material to checkmate. So a rook or a queen is a minimum that white needs, or you have a bishop and a knight. Even two knights would not work in a position when there are no other pieces on the board. Two knights and a king against the king is always a draw, unless black helps you to get checkmated. There is no forced checkmate by white in that position. So let's look at another type of draw. Another type of draw is called a stalemate, and that happens when you have, let's say, a queen on this square. The queen attacks this square, this square, this square, this square, and so on, right? So the queen attacks all kinds of squares, but not the one where the king is. See, the black king is not attacked by the queen, but the black king can no longer move to a square where which is attacked. The king, it's effectively an illegal king move when you would have to move your king, or you move your king into a square that is attacked, and therefore this is called a stalemate. The opponent, because can no longer move, and there are all kinds of various more complicated stalemate positions, is a draw. So you effectively did not manage to win. You drew against your opponent, right? And that is one way of drawing. Now the other one is when you only have a few pieces left and you keep checking your opponent. Let's say we have this. It's a very hard checkmate with a knight and a bishop. And you just keep checking, right? And you just keep moving. When you do 50 moves with these two pieces and you don't reach checkmate, it's a draw by called the 50 move rule. The other position could be when you have a situation where the black king is behind the pawns, and you effectively, let's say white has a queen here, and even black has a queen somewhere, but you effectively check the king and by keeping checking it, the king moves around, and you might kind of get positions where you keep checking, and you don't win anything, right? It's just perpetually checking the king. When you repeat the position 3 times, so 3 times like this position, it's also a draw. And it's a general rule. When you repeat a position 3 times, a lot of times it's kind of by perpetual check, where you literally, let's say you just go up and down like this, right? You kind of get effectively a draw by just keep checking like that. So that's also a drawn position. Of course, you can always agree with your opponent on a draw. Let's say, you have, let's say something like this. Both players have a queen and a knight and a king. You can then agree to a draw, right? So that's another option. You don't need to play until it's 50 moves or 3 times repetition or anything. You can just shake hands, agree on a draw, and that be done with that. So those are the additional rules, moves, and draw situations, as well as checkmating situations. So that's it for this.